I believe I gave the keynote at that CRA. The viceroy was there with me, Mike Davis. So, Mike, I want to go back and make sure people know what we're talking about. This is, you and Russ have been working on this. You've been working on the kind of the constitutional framework of this. Russ, the practicality, how you deconstruct the administrative state. This was all within President Trump's Article 2 powers. He's chief executive officer. He can fire. He can rescind money because the appropriations is the ceiling, not the floor. He's the commander in chief, right? He can repel invasions, and he's chief magistrate and chief law enforcement officer. Those three things. Is anything you've seen kind of question that? Because the left is in a total and complete vapor lock over this, sir.
Well, I want to make sure I give credit where credit's due. Mark Paoletta, our good friend, who is the general counsel at the Office of Management and Budget, has been the champion. He's been the legal champion and the political champion for this idea that the president can impound appropriated funds, right? Remember, this is how it works. The Congress has the power of the purse under Article 1, but the president has a separate constitutional duty under Article 2 as the chief executive officer and as the commander-in-chief when you're dealing with foreign affairs and the military, the border, to take care that our laws are faithfully executed. And it's that take care clause that if the president sees that money appropriated by Congress is going to be misspent, or if he sees that money is going to be sent to terrorists who are going to harm Americans under the guise of humanitarian relief, the president not only has the constitutional power, he has the constitutional duty to stop that. He has the constitutional duty to make sure that our foreign aid aligns with our national interest. He has a constitutional duty to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. And so Russ is the Senate confirmed official as the director of the Office of Management and Budget who has to take the political beatings on this and has to go before Congress and get beat up. But it's really Mark Paoletta, his general counsel, who has been the architect and warrior on this issue.
Is anything here? I mean, we're at a leverage point right now with the Democrats shutting down the government, the Schumer shutting down the government over giving illegal aliens health care. And that's a hill they're prepared to die on. So in this leverage moment, what would be your recommendation to Russ and Paoletta and Jeff Clark and the team?
Well, they're more bold and fearless than even I am. So I don't need to throw gas on the fire. I mean, there's going to be enough gasoline at OMB where I don't need to cause any more problems. But what I would recommend, if I were Russ, what I would recommend to the president is if the Democrats want to shut down our government so they can give $1 trillion in free health care to illegal aliens, keep the government shut down. And then remember, during shutdowns with Democrat presidents, the Democrat presidents and their administration, their OMB, Office of Management and Budget, make it as painful as possible on real Americans and real America. They shut down the national parks. They shut down post offices. They make it very difficult for real Americans and real America during shutdowns. I would recommend to President Trump and his team make it very difficult on the DC swamp. Lay off these workers. And look, if the government's been shut down, how long has it been shut down? For 2 days? Does anyone feel the difference? I don't. Do you, Steve? I mean, maybe, just maybe, if the government's shut down and we don't feel it, maybe that government agency that shut down is utterly useless and should be permanently shut down. So I would do permanent layoffs of these useless government workers in Washington, D.C. who are overpaid and underworked. They wouldn't show up to work for 4 years during COVID. They pissed and moaned because they got ordered by President Trump to actually show up to work. Get rid of them. Fire these people. Make it painful for the D.C. insiders and don't make it painful for real Americans and real America.
I guess your bet is paying off because, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Roberts, and I just want to stick to the Article 2 issues or where President Trump is pushing the edge of the envelope with Russ, but you and Paoletta and Clark and others said you believe that the court was eventually going to agree with us. So I don't want to, there's other things out there like the 14th Amendment and birthright citizen, but just on the chief executive, commander-in-chief, and chief magistrate and law enforcement. With the 200 lawsuits against us, we get slowed down in federal court. Sometimes we even lose in appellate court. But when it gets to the Supreme Court, hasn't Roberts basically said the Warren court is over and these are political issues, solve them politically, but it's Trump's to go do it?
Look, I want to come on here and do something that doesn't happen very often. I want to praise Attorney General Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, and Stanley Woodward, the incoming number 3 at the Justice Department, and John Sauer, the Solicitor General of the United States, Brett Shumate, the head of the Civil Division, Harmeet Dillon. So many good people in the Trump Justice Department who are leaning in on this. They are leaning in on being bold and fearless. Jason Redding Quinones, my buddy, who's the new Miami U.S. Attorney, Judge Jeanine Pirro, they are leaning in and they are winning monumental wins at the Supreme Court on the president's Article 2 power.
Mike, hang on for 1 second. I want to talk. One more thing I want to talk about is Jeff Clark before you punch out on a Friday. I think Mike is right. Markets are kind of up. Things, America goes on. Sun rose this morning. And President Trump has got a OMB director that has a plan to basically restructure the American government. He's just waiting for the order to pull the trigger, and then we're off to the races. Short commercial break. The Viceroy is with us. He's in the house next to the War Room.
Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Gold finished today 39.12. It broke 3,900, didn't back off. Another all-time high. We're going to talk about 2 ways that you can start to learn and get information. First is just take your phone out, Bannon, Bannon, text 989898, or actually text the whole thing, Bannon at 989898. You get the ultimate and free guide for investing in gold and precious metals in the age of Trump. Get it, study it, then reach out to Philip Patrick and the team, talk to them about it. Find out why gold has been a hedge against times of geopolitical and financial turbulence for 5,000 years of man's recorded history. Very important. 39.12. We told you last Saturday why that was going to happen. Mike Davis. First off, I got to read this. President Trump is now just put out a statement. If I can just pull this up in a second. Maybe I can't. I'll look for a minute. Oh, there we go. President Trump just put out True Social. Based on the statement just issued by Hamas, and that's where they put this statement out saying, that's the one right there, but let's put up the new one. Based on the statement just issued by Hamas, and this is where they're saying they'll release the hostages, I believe they are ready for a lasting peace. Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. Right now, it's far too dangerous to do that. We are already in discussions on details to be worked out. This is not about Gaza alone. This is about long-sought peace in the Middle East. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should be the person next week that the committee of the Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo should say is the recipient this year of that award. No one has done more, at least in my lifetime, to bring about world peace than the populist nationalist leader of the MAGA movement and the president of these United States, Donald John Trump. Full stop. Nobody. And this mess that he inherited from Biden, it's absolutely incredible. Mike Davis, our colleague, Jeff Clark, people, the whole lawfare thing, people have been attacked, President Trump, all of it relentless. Clark we're not going to leave anybody on the battlefield here. And Clark is a great man. He's a great man, and just has done so much. And done so much for the president and for the country. What are they trying to do to him right now, and how can we help? How can we help assist him?
Yeah, Jeff Clark is a good friend of mine and yours, Steve, and the War Room posse. He is a great American patriot. He's a great attorney. He was a very senior Justice Department official in the Trump 45 administration. He was an assistant attorney general, Senate confirmed, ran 2 divisions in the first Trump administration. Very smart attorney, and he drafted a legal memo that attorneys do all the time to advise his client, which is the Trump administration, after leading up to January 6th. And he drafted this legal opinion, which he's allowed to do. He never sent it to anyone. He could have sent it to someone, but he didn't even send it to anyone. He just had a draft. And because the DC bar is full of partisan Democrat hacks, they are now trying to disbar Jeff Clark from the practice of law because he drafted a legal document as an attorney, didn't share it with anyone. So they're trying to take his law license. This is now going to be decided by the DC Court of Appeals, which is essentially the state Supreme Court of DC. We're a state, which it never should be because it's a hellhole. But the DC Court of Appeals, which is loaded up with Democrat operatives, is going to decide whether Jeff Clark can keep his law license and his livelihood or not, right? He's licensed in DC and nowhere else. And so if they take away his law license, he can't be a lawyer. It's just utter nonsense. And so the Article 3 project just today submitted an amicus brief with the DC Court of Appeals laying out our position that this is so lawless and dangerous what they're doing to Jeff Clark. It's so much bigger than Jeff Clark. If you can take away a lawyer's law license for merely drafting a legal document that he didn't even share it, he could have, then you're going to chill lawyers and their ability to zealously represent their clients. And they're clearly doing this with the DC bar because they don't like Jeff Clark's political viewpoint. This is totally unacceptable what they're doing. This is un-American. It is extremely dangerous. And if they actually move forward and disbar Jeff Clark, Congress will have to step up and haul in these people for oversight hearings, issue subpoenas for their documents, cut off their funding, end their DC home rule. This is a very bright red line. And I will, if you think I'm crazy in the past, I will go utterly bonkers if they do this to Jeff Clark. And I will make their lives living hell at the DC bar with congressional oversight and funding.
The DC bar is going to say we're all in 100%. And hey, we can, when you guys go low, Mike Davis and Steve Bannon go to the center of the earth. So just understand that. Mike Davis, Article 3 project. Where do people go, sir? Find out more information.
I appreciate
about all
it, Steve. Yeah, this Jeff Clark thing really angers me. So the Viceroy is pissed, but go to article3project.org, article number 3 project.org. You can donate there, but only what you can afford. Follow us on social media. The most important thing, the superpower of the posse, as you know, is action, action, action. So thank you, Steve. Thank you to the War Room Posse. And they better not take away Jeff Clark's law license.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Mike Davis, Jeff Clark, Mark Paoletta, Russ Vogt, the CRA team, the Project 2025 with Dr. Roberts and the great team at Heritage, Brooks Rollins and America First Policy Institute, Stephen Miller, America First Law, Meadows and Senator DeMint over at CPI. It was a team effort, and I'm telling you, we're running the tables right now. We just got to keep focused.